All right, this is our lymphatic board. So this video is going to go over some of the structures of the lymphatic system. So I just want to, I guess, first generally state that you can see here that veins are going to be in blue, arteries are going to be in red, and then lymphatic vessels are these white vessels here. So we have lots and lots of different lymphatic vessels, and then our lymph nodes are all going to be these little sort of yellow dots here. So we have collections of lymph nodes sort of all over the body. Lymph nodes are going to serve to filter the lymph that is coming in through these lymph vessels, right? And they're going to have lots of immune cells in them as a part of immune surveillance. And so there are a couple of general areas. So the cervical lymph nodes, these are deep and superficial cervical lymph nodes, are going to be found in the neck. We've got axillary lymph nodes. We have a big collection of them right here, sort of in the armpit or axilla region. You have inguinal lymph nodes down here in the groin region. We also have lymph nodes in the mesentery of the small intestine. You have a lot of those, right? Because the small intestine and the stomach, right? You have lymph nodes in the stomach right here, gastric lymph nodes. These are all going to be areas where you are absorbing lots of things that you've ingested from the outside environment. So you have a lot of lymph nodes anywhere where there might be entry of pathogens. So like in the GI tract here, you'll have some bronchomediastinal lymph nodes right here with the lungs, right? So you're breathing things in. And so these collections of lymph nodes are important. They filter all the blood. And then eventually these lymphatic vessels they start out really small and they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And so most of the body is going to be drained into what is called the thoracic duct. And so the thoracic duct is actually going to be this right here. So it's this whole white area that comes all the way up through the chest. It starts down here at 19 at the cisterna chyli, which might be a little bit hard for you guys to see because it's behind sort of these portal vessels going to the liver and the gallbladder here. But so this is 19, the cisterna chyli, and then it's going to go up. This is the thoracic duct. It comes all the way up here, and then it comes here. And so the thoracic duct is going to be draining or receiving lymph from both lower legs, your whole abdomen, and a lot of the chest portion. And so this is kind of the large area, as well as your left arm over here. Whereas the right lymphatic duct, which is this tiny guy right here, really is only going to be draining sort of the right side of the head and neck and the right arm, and sort of some of this right area on the right side of the chest. So this is going to be our right lymphatic duct. So all of the interstitial fluid will come back into the lymph, and it will go through small vessels into larger and larger vessels. And it's filtered through these axillary lymph nodes over here, and then it's going to come into this right lymphatic duct, which is going to return this now hopefully cleaned lymph to the venous system. And so it's going to return it right here, and this is the junction between the right internal jugular vein and the right subclavian vein. So this is right here where we're returning our lymph to the venous circulation. As we said, the left side of our body and the inferior portion of our body, so like kind of the majority of the body and the left side of the head, is all going to be drained right here to this left lymphatic duct, which is also called the thoracic duct, because it goes up through the thorax. And so this actually right here is going to be a jugular trunk right here that's coming down to drain into this thoracic duct. And then we have a thoracic duct going all the way through here. The cisterna chyli is going to drain into the thoracic duct, as well as all of the intestinal trunk is going to drain into the cisternal chyli. And that's important because the intestinal trunk contains the lacteals, and the lacteals are going to be the small little lymphatic vessels in the digestive tract that are going to be absorbing the lipids. So this portion right here from the intestinal trunk, especially going to the cisterna chyli, and then up through the thoracic duct, is going to have the normal lymph in it, but it's also going to be full of lipids that have been absorbed from the digestive tract, and we call that chyle. So this is going to be chyle, and it's sort of a milky white color. And that chyle, along with the other lymph that's coming from like the intestinal trunks, and it's coming up from the lumbar trunks and the bronchomediastinal trunk, all of that is going to kind of come together in this thoracic duct, and it's going to eventually return to the venous system right here right at the junction between the left subclavian and the left internal jugular vein over here. And so the other things that you'll want to be able to identify here, remember the cisterna-chyli is down here. Some organs, you can see the tip of the spleen sort of peeking out behind the stomach over here. And then you can also see this is the large intestine, and this is going to be sort of the cecum and then the appendix down here. So it's going to be the cecum and the appendix. And those are the major structures to know in this lymphatic system model. In this video, we're going to be going over lymphatic structures in the torso. And so some of the major structures, there would be tonsils up here. You really can't see it well on this model, so I'll have to use another model for that. As we go through some of the other areas, we can see is that this is the spleen. So this is an important lymphatic structure right here, the spleen, as well as the appendix. And so we can see the appendix sort of right here. And if you kind of flip it over, you can see the appendix. So right over here, this is going to be the appendix, right? So that's the appendage off the edge of the large intestine over here. And that would be here is kind of like the opening to the appendix. So the appendix and the spleen are kind of big lymph vessels, or big lymphatic structures. And then next we have got these little green guys here are going to be lymph nodes. So inguinal lymph nodes, and then these are lymph vessels over here.